Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। अर्जुन उवाच अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवं सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। Next one. मय्येव मन आधत्स्व
मय्येव मनः आधत्स्व
मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय
मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय
निवसिष्यसि मय्येव
निवसिष्यसि मय्येव
निवसिष्यसि मय्येव
निवसिष्यसि मय्येव
अत ऊर्ध्वन्न संशयः
अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः।
Yeah. So, having talked about the importance of bhakti, to whom? To those people who are wanting to go straight, take a rocket to Brahman in the form of the formless. You know, what happens if you take a rocket to Brahman? You know, you miss out on everything in the way, and you may not be ready to climb into that rocket, you know, and therefore, and that Brahman being yourself, where will you tell the rocket to go? Correct? And so if you don't know all this, you better be a bhakta because through karma yoga and bhakti, you can also, what's the word for it? You can also prepare your mind to gain me. Not that you can, replace karma yoga and bhakti. That you cannot say that. Even though there is all these, rampant ideas, especially in modern Vedanta. There is bhakti yoga, there is karma yoga. For the intellectual, there is jnana yoga. For the, for the active, there is karma yoga. For the introverted, there is Bhakti Yoga. For the stubborn, there is Hatha Yoga. Because they are mandus, So this is not. So this is not the kind. This is not what we are talking about. We have to. That's what this 8th verse is about. It's about discerning the problem. What is the problem? Where is Bhagavan? You have to ask where is not Bhagavan. If you go to the rural India and say where is Bhagavan, they will look at you and say where have you come from? They will say where is Bhagavan not? Bhagavan is everywhere. And for this Bhagavan everywhere, it's not that you have to do some, and they will give you, such people who are proponents of this many yoga theory, they will give you an example. Temple on top of the hill. You can take like Tirupati, Balaji temple on top of the hill. You can take that, what is that called? That zip line. Or you can take the stairs. You can go rolling. Some people have made a sankalpa. They make an intention that as a penance or an atonement, they're going to tie their hands and legs like this and roll around the temple and roll around the hill and reach that way, So you can go rolling, There are many ways to reach the temple. The proponents of these many yoga theories, they will say this. There are many ways to reach the temple. But then what will happen once you go up the hill, there is only one door, correct? Yeah. That they don't understand. Because why is Bhagavan away from you? First of all, is Bhagavan away from you? You have to say no. Even if you feel like saying yes, you have to say no. Okay? This much, after studying so much Vedanta, you have to fake at least this much. Yeah, you have to fake this. Even if you don't know that, you have to say no. Even I may not know it, but Bhagavan is with me. You have to say that. So when you say Bhagavan is already with me, and Bhagavan is in me, and Bhagavan is not far away from me, then what's the point of reaching it? How do you reach? How do you reach space with your hand? Is my hand nearer to space here or here? Where is my hand nearer? What is the distance between space and my hand? So this we have to see, this much we have to understand. So, but then, do you know that Bhagavan is you? Then the same person who said, I know Bhagavan is around, I know Bhagavan is right here, the same person will say, I don't know that Bhagavan is me. Okay, then we are coming to the problem. What is the problem? I don't know. So what is I don't know? And that ignorance has to be removed, for which we need self-knowledge. And we don't deny the role of bhakti, and neither does Bhagavan Krishna in the 12th chapter. Without bhakti there is no Bhagavan. Without karma yoga there is no gain of this knowledge. So bhakti, karma, all the bhakti is also a form of karma. Anyway, what will the bhakti is the attitude with which the karma is done. And anybody who is a bhakta will do karma only in order to express the bhakti. And so therefore, there should be no doubt in the mind that if this is the problem, this is the solution. But however, here is where the people miss the boat. And therefore, Bhagavan has this slightly cryptic 8th verse. Mayi eva, mayi eva. In me alone, eva. Evakarat, in me alone. Manaha adhatsva. Keep your mind in me. And then, keep your mind in me. And then also, keep your buddhi in me. Mai buddhim niveshaya. Place your buddhi in me, place your mind in me. What is this? Place your mind in me first, and then place your buddhi in me next. Kya baat hai? What is this? It's like someone saying, please bring me a glass of water. And while you are coming with a glass of water, please bring me a glass of aqua. What's the, So what is the thing? And we know that the Gita is just like an Upanishad. How do we know that? How do we know that the Gita is just like Upanishad? Because at the end of every chapter we chant, Iti Srimad Bhagavat Gita Su Upanishadsu. In this Srimad Bhagavat Gita, which is like an Upanishad, which has 2 topics to disclose. Brahma Vidyayam, which has Brahma Vidya, knowledge of the self, Yoga Shastra, and a conducive, committed way of life in order to gain this knowledge, to gain this vision. which is in the form of a dialogue, Sri Krishnarjuna Samvade. Like this, we say that at the end of every chapter. So the Bhagavad Gita is herself like an Upanishad. What the Upanishad is saying and what the Bhagavad Gita is saying is not two different things. It's exactly the same thing. So in the Upanishad, like for example, there is a mantra, Ritancha swadhyaya pravachane satyancha swadhyaya pravachane like this. So and then there is another mantra like similar. Ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami. Ritam means truth, really. If it is used without satyam, truth. That which is there, which cannot be negated, is called ritam. Satyam means what? Same thing. Ritam vadishyami, I will speak the truth. Satyam vadishyami, I will speak the truth. And the Veda never repeats herself. Upanishad does not repeat herself. Veda, there is no fallacy of redundancy. Redundancy is a dosha. Dosha, fallacy. Redundancy is a fallacy because in this redundancy we have a problem in the sense that who are the people who are redundant? The people who are all over the place, who are not sure of what they are saying. Right? Yeah. And so here the redundancy has no space at all in the knowledge. Repetition may be there. To teach, you have to teach in a certain way. But even that the Upanishad doesn't have. So when the same thing appears twice, you cannot just deal with it treat it as a synonym and move on. So here there is emphasis. Mayi eva manaha, mayi eva adhatsva. Keep your mind in me. And then while you are doing that, keep your buddhi in me either. Also, you cannot say that those two are just synonyms. It was a post-lunch session. Bhagavan had eaten a lot. Arjuna had also eaten a lot. And the thinking got a little sloppy. No, not for Bhagavan. If Bhagavan's thinking gets sloppy, there is no hope for humankind. Okay? Yeah. So you cannot chalk it up to that. Krishna was having a bad day when he came to the 12th chapter. He was tired. 2/3 he had been just talking. This fellow was not understanding anything. So he got tired and he repeated himself. No, because Upanishad is infallible. And it gives because we look upon the Upanishad and the Bhagavad Gita with Shraddha, that this is the most infallible piece that there is. And so therefore we have great respect for it. So what do we do? In cases like this, we try to find out what is the meaning. Yeah. So then we find out that the whole Antahkarana means the inner instrument, which includes 4 things. And in the Shastra, and if we have studied Tattva Bodha, this is what is given. Manaha, Buddhihi, Chittam, not to be confused with Chit Ananda, not that Chit. This is Chittam and Ahankara. So Manaha, the whole mind is divided into 4 divisions, each one fulfilling a certain purpose. So first one, Manaha, and the definition is given. What is the definition? Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam Manaha. Means that which cannot decide is called Manaha. The indecisive faculty. And you see this very well exemplified in the household cat, pet cat. It's freezing outside. Cat will scratch at the door. You open the door. Half in, half out it will stand. And it will make the tail like this. Something to see. And you say, come on, you're getting angry at it. Come on, come inside. No, I'll stand here. Go outside so I can close the door, I'm cold. No, I'll stand here. So Sankalpa and Vikalpa. Sankalpa means intention. Vikalpa means suddenly the intention is gone. Should I do this? Should I do that? No, I think I'll go in for this. I think Vedanta is a good idea. See, it's so good, and I'm convinced, yes, my self-ignorance, I cannot stand anymore. I have to study. But then there is some wonderful thing happening in town. Vedanta will always remain. Every time there is some lecture. Plus they are all archived on that live stream website. I can go and catch it anytime. What about this Mela, this fair in town? It only comes once a year, so I think I should go there. No. But that's what we learnt in the class yesterday, that these distractions will always be there. Make up the mind, yes, I'm going to class, I'm going. And you get into the car, and you start to drive, and then the car has a mind of its own. You have to take right turn to go to class. What does the car do? Take a left turn. Car takes a left turn without permission. And then you say, Ayyo, how I came here? And then suddenly you find going more towards the booths and nice smells are coming. Bondas, pakodas, all nice eatables are there, and some nice shows are there on the stage, and some nice shops are there. They are selling some things. Nice fair. Town fair has come to town, annual town fair. And then you feel very fair going there, correct? Yeah, this is the manaha. And even supposing you force it to take a, right turn instead of left, you bring a very recalcitrant mind into the classroom. You bring the body that doesn't want to be here and make it sit. The mind will already go, udhar kya ho raha hai? What will be happening there? How they will be enjoying? How I am missing everything? And then what you are missing is, you are missing that, all right, you are missing this also. Both the person is missing. This is called manaha, the one that is the quintessential doubter. The doubting is what is the mind. Sitting in the class, did I close the door? Did I lock the door? One thought is enough. Then the person is gone, because the person is already imagining burglars coming, robbers taking away everything, the whole thing is already imagined. You calling 911, everything you have imagined. And this is what is the mind. It is sankalpa, makes an intention, vikalpa, not able to changes the mind. That's what is called the mind. That which changes is the mind. So this is called manaha. This faculty of the mind that keeps constantly changing is called manaha. Then we have another faculty which is called buddhi. Buddhi means the intellect, and it also is invested with a certain job. And what is that job? The job of the buddhi is nishchayatmika. Nishchayatmika buddhi. The place where decisions are made. If you count on the manaha to make the decisions, you will be disappointed, because it will take you on a merry-go-round. Or maybe I should call it sorry-go-round, because nobody is happy. So the one that says, I am not going to the fair, I am going to the class instead, or whatever decision, maybe you decide to go to the fair. I am going to the fair and I am going to have a good time, I am not going to sit there and feel guilty that I have not attended class. Whatever it is, decide properly. This decisive faculty is called buddhi. Then there is one more, chittam. What is chittam? Emotive faculty. This is where the level of the feelings. And the chitta also has, mind of its own. Sometimes it will go with manaha and confuse it even further. That's what it will do. Sometimes it will join the buddhi, rarely though. And and it is just in between. Yatha prayuktosmi tatha karomi. This is what Duryodhana said. Duryodhana was asked, don't you have a conscience? Yes, I have a conscience. Don't you have a buddhi? Yes, I have a buddhi. Don't you know the difference between right and wrong? Of course I know the difference between right and wrong, Duryodhana said. He said, in fact, I have written a book on dharma. Did you know that? Duryodhana wrote a book on dharma. Yeah. Yeah. Where is it? Yeah. Ajabhakshitam, eaten by goats. Yeah. Why? Why did it have such a bad karma? Duryodhana's book on dharma? He did not have an initial prayer, because they say that in any book that you write, you have to first pray. You have to pray to Bhagavan for the successful completion. You have to pay respects to the teachers from whom you got this knowledge. Then only the book's success is ensured. Duryodhana said, who is there to pray? He didn't know the meaning of the word pray. If you asked him to spell pray, he would spell it P-R-E-Y. That he knew very well. He knew how to prey upon the sentiments, the property and the lives of other people. But, so here, the Chittam is the emotive faculty. Wishy-washy fellow, along with the mind, it goes and drags you down, or it may rarely go with the buddhi. And then finally we have what is called ahankara. I notion. The one that says, this is my mind, this is my buddhi, this is my chittam, this is me. All this is me, my body. First it says my body. And then what does the ahankara say afterwards? Me body. I'm as good as the body. Deha parimanoham. In fact, there is a philosophy. Deha parimanavadi. These people have their own vada, they have their own discussions. And we meet them in the texts as the conscious objectors, Purva Pakshis. They are there, all over the place. They are a huge waste of time. But anyhow, we have to deal with them because they are there. And so these four constitute what is called the inner instrument or ahankara. Ahankara or inner instrument. I don't know why you are not able to hear. Try restarting your computer. That's all I can recommend. Yeah. So ahankara means the inner instrument, which includes these four functions. It's not that there are, first of all, where is antahkarana? Antahkarana, inner instrument, where is it? If you do a autopsy on a body, will you find antahkarana? No. This is why it is part of the sukshma sharira, subtle body. So it's not physically evident, it's not physically available. Much less there is a chamber. The heart has 4 chambers. So here the mind has 4 chambers. Antahkarana, buddhi, chittam and manaha. You won't find like that. It's not divided. This is just a division based on function. And so here, out of these 4, Bhagavan Krishna is talking to the ahankara, correct? Because the ahankara is the one who suffers from ignorance. The ahankara is the one who says, I am ignorant, I want the knowledge. The ahankara is the one approaches the teacher. For that it has to, if not an enlightened ahankara, it has to be a lightened ahankara to even seek the teacher and to say, I don't know. Because when you seek the teacher, you are forced to say, I do not know. I have something here to learn. So this kind of ahankara seeks the teacher. And so Bhagavan Krishna is talking to the ahankara, the I notion, which is connected to Arjuna, and he is talking about the other 2 faculties. What are the other 2 faculties? Manaha and buddhi. Yeah. He is addressing the ahankara and having a discussion about the buddhi and the manaha. What does this tell us? That there should be cultivated an inner space between the I notion and the faculty of thinking, emoting and feeling. This is extremely important. That inner space is important. Otherwise the mind and the ahankara and everything are just one big blob, And then it becomes reactive. There is no inner space. So what about Arjuna's chittam? That expended itself in the first chapter. He cried, he got a panic attack. Yeah. Some Ayurvedic doctors had to come and take his pulse in the first chapter. He was having a very hard time. He describes his whole panic attack. Only the chittam was involved. There was nothing else. His ahankara was just reporting and the chittam was taking over the whole situation. He was anxious. He was perspiring. The Gandiva, the bow, slipped from his hand. His knees were knocking. He says that. Romaharshascha jayate, he was having this horripilation, hair-raising experience literally. And then he said, nimittani cha pashyami, viparitani cha keshava. He says, I'm just seeing all kinds of, I'm hallucinating bad omens. He started hallucinating. That's what happens when the mind is so disturbed. He started to see bad things everywhere he looked. And then he says, my mind is wandering. Nacha shaknomi avasthatum bhramati iva me manaha. My mind is going all over the place, and he says, I'm feeling feverish all of a sudden. Like a small boy who doesn't want to go to school. I have a tummy ache, I have fever, so he doesn't want to fight the war. And so his chittam he has let loose. Until which time? until the second chapter where Bhagavan Krishna scolds him and brings him out of the emotive state. He says, Kutastva kashmalamidam. What is this? What is this? Kashmala means what is this? Overrunning with the feelings. What is this? Have a say over the mind. Don't keep rehearsing these feelings. You need to reverse them, not rehearse them. Vishame samupasthitam. Standing here in the battlefield, you are feeling like this. Anaryam, it is so ignoble of you. Ajushtam, not at all adorable. This is not one of your adorable qualities, Arjuna. Asvargyam, it is certainly not going to bring you punya, to take you to heaven, etc. Everything, all the things you want to enjoy. Anaryam, ajushtam, asvargyam, akirtikaram. And after you go away and die and go away, this is the only thing they will remember of you. In the last action, where you were like a chicken-hearted puk fellow, always crying in the battlefield. And then, Bhagavan scolds him. What does he say? He says, Klaibyam masmagamah partha. Na etat tvayi upapadyate. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktva uttishta parantapa. This weakness of the heart, throw that aside and stand up like the lion of the fighters that you are. Klaibyam masmagama, don't, either fight. There is a certain way in which men fight, correct? And there is a certain way in which women fight. And Arjuna was right in between. So he's told, Klaibyam masmagama, don't try to be. Klaibya means someone who is neither male nor female. Yeah. Don't give up your identities to such an extent that you are, standing here in between wondering what your, attitude should be. You are a warrior. Remember who you are. And if the chittam takes over, you will just be, not in a place of retrieving yourself from this. So get up, bring yourself out of this, he is told. And after that, Arjuna doesn't go back. So the chittam of Arjuna is taken care of because Bhagavan gave shock therapy. Even before electricity was there, Bhagavan himself gave a few jolts, of voltage, of light, and gave a shock therapy, and the chittam, Arjuna's chittam was taken care of. This shows that before coming to the knowledge, our chittam also must be taken care of. How beautiful the Gita, how nice it is. So if there is an excess of emotion, it has to be loved up, it has to be integrated, it has to be, taken care of. And this being Kali Yuga, if we wait till the whole chittam is taken care of, nothing will happen. No Vedanta, nobody will come to Vedanta. So therefore we advise that side by side, along with the knowledge, along with the pursuit of the knowledge, you do the homework of taking care of the chittam, just like Arjuna did the homework. So Arjuna's chittam is taken care of, and his buddhi is also taken care of in chapter 2, where he is advised, he says, Bhagavan Krishna has a beautiful little, thing he says, Ananta shakhaha buddhayaha avyavasayinam vyavasayatmika buddhi ekaiha kuru nandana bahushakhaha anantaha cha buddhayaha avyavasayinam yahamimam pushpitam vacham, later he says, प्रवदन्ति अविपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपराः जन्म मृत्युफलप्रदां क्रियाविशेष बहुलां भोगैश्वर्य प्रतिं गतिः भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया अपहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते. Very beautiful passage. He says, you decide what you want right now. So what should I have? Chocolate cake, carrot cake, vanilla ice cream, mango ice cream? What should I have? That is some kind of a decision about two things that have the same, that occupy the same quantum of reality, correct? They occupy the same thing of reality. Same order of reality. Ice cream, or you say, should I have samosa? Should I have ice cream? Should I have something like this? They occupy the same level of reality. But here, samosa is not going to. Samosa sounds like samsara, correct? Yeah. It's not going to take you out of it. It's going to make you go deeper into it. Yeah. First you need samosa. Then after samosa what happens? Pepto-Bismol. Yeah, that is an antacid to digest the samosa. Then antacid gives side effect. Then another, then you need some. Nowadays they are saying, drink some hydrochloric acid. Some people are drinking that.
What?
Because because the digestion is not, good. The Western doctors are giving some diluted acid to drink. So first you take, first you eat the wrong things. This is all backwards thinking.
Yeah.
You eat the wrong things. Then you go and get antacid. Then the antacid actually has aluminium in it. It erodes and corrodes the lining of the stomach. And then there is the Jatharagni, the stomach fire doesn't function at all. It suppresses the stomach fire. Then you go to the doctor again, and then the same acid that is in the stomach, you take from outside, you pour it, like Drano, there is one, when the drain gets plugged, you put some acidic thing, then they say you wait 15 minutes and put something else, and then you wait 15 minutes and then pour hot water, then the drain is smooth. This esophagus is like a drain. This is how we treat it, So this is all backward. So therefore the chitta, the buddhi has to be taken care of. Otherwise, through this backward thinking, one will never decide what one wants to do. So you can have a choice, samosa or ice cream, because they belong to the same level of reality. You cannot say, shall I have mocha or should I go for moksha? Huh? What are you going to choose?
Moksha.
Yeah, what will you choose? Mocha or moksha? Moksha, you have to choose moksha. So moksha you will choose?
Yeah.
Is everybody having a sound problem, or is it just one or two people? Okay, one or two people, they can go to live stream and look there. Don't worry, you will still get your certificate. Yeah. So what is the choice between mocha and moksha? No. First I'll have mocha. Then it will clear the fog in the head. Then I can go for moksha. No, that's not how it works. Why? Because that Brahman, about which is moksha, is gaining that Brahman. You can have as many mokhas as you want, because it's not opposed to moksha. But then if you choose, Brahman is not opposed to moksha. If you choose moksha, Brahman will sit quietly and say, "Theek hai, karo." Brahman is not even opposed to your ignorance. "Theek hai, no problem." So therefore, if you choose moksha, what will happen? Nothing will happen. That's all. Then you will want another moksha. After that, one more moksha. That's all. Nothing will happen, because you will still be on the realm of this, what's its name? The impermanent. Moksha means that which is permanent, which is the truth of my own self. So that longing for freedom, you cannot sort of say, what is moksha, what is moksha, let me choose this thing. And here is where the buddhi, if it makes the decision, then it will choose moksha. Because in choosing moksha, it has chosen that which is the truth of everything, which includes moksha also. Yeah. But if you choose moksha, you have excluded moksha in a way, because the pursuit is different. Correct? Yeah. And so therefore, he is told in the second chapter. So first the chitta is taken care of because he was disturbed. Then the buddhi is being taken care of. The manaha and buddhi is being taken care of. And the manaha and the buddhi, here is told, go with the buddhi. Otherwise you will fall into the fall into the power of people with flowery talk. These are not my words, these are the words of the Bhagavad Gita. Yam imam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha. Vipaschit means a knowledgeable person. Avipaschit means what?
No.
Easy. Simple negation. So the one who is not knowledgeable, but then poses as knowledgeable. A lot of people do that. They take one weekend course in Ayurveda and they say, I'm now a master. They take 2 classes in Reiki and say, I'm Reiki Grand Master. Like this, lot of people pose as knowledgeable without having done the work. What to talk, even in Vedanta people are like that. Like I told you once, I went to Parliament of World Religion and there they were talking, somebody was talking. On my way to my talk, I just was hearing someone saying Brahman, Vedanta, and I just stood there and listened because I had a few, minutes. I didn't want to go in and disturb them. And this man was talking. I didn't see the face, fortunately. And this man was talking, and he said, Vedanta, Vedanam Dantaha. The teeth of Vedas. What is this? The basic thing you don't know. You take a bite out of ignorance by studying the teeth of the Veda. This is what it is. So even Sanskrit is wrong. You don't know Vedanta, you don't know Sanskrit, and then somehow you got a ticket to go to Parliament of World Religions. So this is what is Avipaschitaha. And what do these Avipaschitas do? They must have been there in Bhagavan Krishna's time also, because he refers to them. And what do these Avipaschitas do? These Avipaschitas pretend to be Vipaschitas and trap you with their flowery talk. Each one will come and say, Vedavada Rataha. So they are only interested in rituals, they are only interested in small gains. And they say there is nothing beyond what I am talking. Each one will say that. There is nothing beyond what I am talking. Kamatmana, they are full of desires. Svargaparaha, all they want to do is go in heaven and sit. They think heaven is permanent. And while simply just allowing the cycle of life and death to continue, Kriya Vishesha Bahulam, they are all over the place in their activities and in their focus. Focus is not there. If there is a focus, it is only towards Bhoga and Aishwarya. What is Bhoga? Consumption. And then Aishwarya, power. They just want wealth and power. That's all it is. That's where the focus is. So Bhogaishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Apahrita Chetasam, their chitta, their mind, their whole inner instrument has been abducted by the greed for Bhoga and Aishwarya. For such people, what will happen? The followers of such people or such people themselves, Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. The buddhi is not available to make a decision. So don't fall prey to their sweet talk or don't become like them, Arjuna. You decide what you want. Do you want to just keep permanently searching for the, that which is permanent? Or do you want to seek the permanent? For a finite, it's better to be a finite seeker than than an infinite seeker. Infinite seeker means seeking, 10 lives. Seeking, 10 more lives. In between octopus, buffalo, all this we talked about in the morning. Yeah. What else? Water buffalo, hippopotamus, octopus, all these things. Jellyfish. And then seeking, 20 more lives. Seeking, and then another life, then the person is still seeking. I think I've done this before. Big jnanodaya, sudden burst of knowledge. Some deja vu feeling comes. Yeah. Sitting in kindergarten, A for apple, B for bat. This is the thing. And so how long are you going to seek? What you have to do is, you have to seek the infinite so that you can stop seeking. The infinite being you will stop seeking once you know the infinite. It is so simple here Arjuna is told. But you have to decide. So which is the decisive faculty? Buddhi. Yeah. So that's why Bhagavan Krishna here says, Mai eva mana adhatsva. And then Mayi buddhim niveshaya. Both those things are there. You can't gloss over these differences. Very important. So first, the mind goes towards something it likes, correct? And there is no reason not to love Bhagavan, because that is your truth, the truth of you only. Everybody is searching for Bhagavan. Even the person who is wanting moksha is really wanting moksha only. Everybody is searching for Bhagavan. This is not a big deal. So, Mayi eva mana adhatsva. So, your mind is drawn to me, no problem. Me here doesn't mean Krishna, it means Ishvara, Parameshvara. In any form, doesn't matter. So, Mayi eva mana adhatsva. So, your mind is drawn to me. Try to keep the mind there. And of course, will the mind stay there? No, because the fellow is a, changeling. Manaha is a changeling. Therefore, bring the decisive faculty as well and nail down the commitment to seek me in the proper way through vichara, through shraddha, through bhakti, through the proper exposure to this knowledge. Otherwise, what is the use? What is the use of this life? And then what will happen as a result of this commitment? The commitment will ensure nivasishyasi mayyeva. You will live in me only. In the awareness of me only you will live. Because that awareness which you say is consciousness is myself alone, in you as you. So you will live in me only. Ata urdhvam na sanchayah. Thereafter there is no doubt. So what you have to do is sthira matihi. Elsewhere he says sthira buddhihi. Sthira means nail it down. Stable. The mind that doesn't go all over the place. Because the truth is, and this also is told in the 4th chapter, Bhagavan says, bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacha arjuna tani sarva, aham veda. Both of us, you and me, have had many lifetimes. Me as Bhagavan, you as Gabhavan. Not Bhagavan. You as Jiva. Sad little Jiva who thinks himself to be separated from me. Both of us have many lifetimes. I have also had many avatars. I came here as, fish and so many things and all these avatars. And you've also had many avatars, And what avatars? Avatars of various avatars of ignorance, self-ignorance. And then what is the difference between you and me? Tani aham vedtha sarvani, natvam vedtha parantapa. I know all of them. I remember all of them. Your problem is you don't remember them. That's because Maya affects you differently. Yeah, Maya affects the Jiva differently. Maya is all knowledge, all Shakti for Bhagavan. And for Jiva it is all misery and all forgetfulness. So this is Maya. So that is the difference. And so the thing is, just because you think that this 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, however much one might live, the temptation and the tendency is to see that alone as a span of time. That alone is enough time, there is no other time. But really speaking, if you have the long durée view, you see that in this long duration, so many, incarnations, each time feeling empty, each time feeling lonely, each time feeling dissatisfied, each time feeling discontented, each time feeling like I have to prove myself, each time feeling like I have to climb up on the social ladder, the ladder of power, the ladder of knowledge, the ladder of education, the ladder of popularity. How many ladders to climb? Each time exhausted. If one were to have a peek of all the lives, you won't feel like getting out of bed the next morning, I tell you. It's a sad little situation. That is the truth. Yeah, I told you one human life means endless karma, so all kinds of things. And so therefore, it's high time to stop this quest or give a shape to this quest so that the quest, is no longer a permanent question mark. there is in the Gurukulam in Sailorsburg, there is next door, there is a cow sanctuary, Lakshmi cow sanctuary. I don't know if you read the Sukta newsletter last time, there was an article about that. So there was one cow born, one male calf born with a question mark on the forehead. They named it Vedanta. Perhaps it was a seeker, seeking. Or who knows? Perhaps it was a seeker. One doesn't know, but anyhow, it's a clean question mark. And we thought, I had seen it when it was small. And I thought, maybe it is when the hair grows, when the head grows, it will grow out of the question mark. No. Now it has become a huge bull. Gentle, the fellow is so gentle, but he is huge, but he has still this big, the question mark only grew bigger with his fur and his head. Yeah, black cow with white question mark, named Vedanta. This is what will happen if the quest is not fulfilled. Even in other janmas you will be seeking through the question mark, seen cleanly on the forehead. So he says, Mai buddhim niveshaya. Mai eva mana adhatsva. So these two faculties, the indecisive one and the decisive one, both have to be in me alone. And then what? Then you are certain to get me. You are totally, assured of getting me. You won't have any problem at all. You will abide in me alone all the time. There is no problem. All right. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi sthiram abhyasa yogena tataha mamipchaptum dhananjaya. Having dealt with the mind and the buddhi, then we go to next what? What is in this verse? Chittam. Yeah. Then we go to the chittam. The emotive faculty. Atha chittam na samadhatum shaknoshi mayi sthiram. Because see, one can say, I have made the decision, I want to study this, and I know that only through study I will get this. So therefore I have to commit myself to the study. I have made the decision. The mind is also okay with the decision. The buddhi has made the decision in our, fourfold thing. Ahankara has given its blessings. Buddhi has made the decision. The mind is ready to go along. But this chittam is jumping up and down. The emotions are getting in the way. This is such a brilliant chapter. Of course, I say that about every chapter. Those who heard me talk about the Gita. So this is such a brilliant chapter. Because Bhagavan is ready to give you various alternatives. To the sad, tired, hopeless, helpless jiva that says that is not working, this is not working. Bhagavan is full of compassion. He is a bhavaroga bhishak. The Vaidya for the Roga of Samsara. That is, he is Bhavaroga Bhishak. So, Samsara is a disease. So, Samsara disease, which doctor, will diagnose? Which doctor to go to? Bhagavan is the doctor of doctors. Because all diseases, are because of Samsara alone. So, Bhagavan, when you take care of Samsara, then the disease is no longer a disease. It may affect the body, okay, theek hai, but it will not affect the person's composure or the mind. So here is a situation where it's an eager beaver bhakta, the person is earnest. The person wants to study, the person wants to listen, the person wants the understanding. The person has made the decision also. And then what happens? Yeah. The person is just, has to be carried out of the room in buckets. Has a meltdown. That's what is called meltdown. Like in these stories that you tell children, when there was one witch or someone that she was allergic to water, And you threw the bucket of water and she melted. Yeah. So here now in the modern age, everyone has a meltdown. So this meltdown one is having, and so therefore the meltdown is the power of the unconscious coming out of the deepest recesses of the heart, which usually has to do with childhood problems, mother problems, father problems, young age problems, and occasionally, very occasionally, past life situations also, stored in the unconscious. Because the child just trusts, and and if the caregivers, whatever the caregivers do, it doesn't understand. It wants the mother there to be there always. It wants the father there to be there always. Mother has to work, father has to work, and the child doesn't have any concept of time. And so the child misunderstands and thinks, I must not be wanted. They have left me. They don't love me. Why? Another baby has come. So all these the thoughts. And so it suppresses it, because this is also the gift of Maya, is that it suppresses to the unconscious so that the child can laugh, play, because the brain is not there to process these emotions. The brain is not developed. So later on in adulthood, these feelings come out, usually after marriage, where one starts saying, you don't care about me. After marriage. Why after marriage? Because there is commitment, there is trust. One feels safe enough to feel unsafe. Very beautiful the whole system is. You feel safe enough to feel unsafe. That's why you lay down the whole blame and the pain and everything to the other significant other. And the significant other does the same thing to you. This is what happens. And then that is why the marriage helps in Chitta Shuddhi, because each one can see, okay, this is not me. This is just their own pain. If you can tell the other person, this is your own pain. Don't say that while they are having the pain, because then they will throw something at you. Say it afterwards when they have calmed down. This is your own pain, and I am happy to sit with you and process this. But this belongs to you, not to me. Even though I may be triggering this pain, you are responsible for healing this. This is what one has to be told. So the chittam na samadhatum shaknoshi. This all our sages knew this. They knew how the emotions take one away from this knowledge. The emotions can be the shrapa, which doesn't give atma anugraha. It can be the curse of oneself to oneself really. So therefore, you have to be very careful in protecting the mind and the emotions. And if the emotions are all over the place, they have to be taken care of. Starting with therapy, and then starting with another, practice here that is advised. What is that? Ashtanga Yoga. Two meanings. Abhyasa Yoga is given here. Abhyasa Yogena Tataha Mam Aptum Dhananjaya Ichha. So bring the chittam under niyantranam. Manage the chittam. Learn to manage your emotions. Don't suppress them. Suppressing will not do anything. And say, okay, if I can't suppress, if I should not suppress, what should I do? Sit and cry all day long? Is that going to help? No. Because today crying, you woke up. Crying, you ate the food. Crying, you went to bed. Next day, crying, you woke up. What good is that going to do? It's not going to help. So therefore, this chittam needs treatment. Yeah. Whether it is therapy, where you go to somebody and talk about it. Like I told you in the ancient times, and even until recently, even now in rural areas, when the child cries, there is always a lap that it can go and sit on. Child is angry with the mother and the father, they will be grandparents. Mother scolds the child, you cannot have one more. The child cries. Runs to the grandmother. Grandmother is waiting for this particular thing. He says, your mother is wrong, her mother is also wrong. Even at the time of marriage, this family gave us trouble. Her whole lineage is wrong, you are right. The child only needs that validation. This is 5-minute chota therapy. Yeah, very easy. And the child forgets about it, runs and plays. That's why the child will grow up not to have a heavy unconscious. Here there is no lap available. Every lap has laptop, not child. So what are you going to do? So therefore, Arjuna is, all these our sages knew. So he said, and even in the Mandukya Upanishad, the Gaudapada Acharya's Karika says this. Shankara's grand guru writes a, commentary on the Mandukya Upanishad and says the following. He says that Sakashayam vijaniyat samapraptva na vichalayet. So in meditation, if you're just sitting there not, doing Nama Japa, you should do Nama Japa. We are going to talk about that more. You have to just do the mantra. But if you just sit there not doing the mantra, what will come? Bubbles from the unconscious. Like this. It will bubble up. Like from a swamp. Where is the swamp? The unconscious is the swamp. Yes. So the pain, the sorrow, fear will come. So na vichalayet, don't go inside it and stir up that swamp. Gaudapada says, Nissango prajnaya bhavet. Go back to doing Nama Japa and let that be alone. It will resolve on its own. Because if you start saying, which lifetime did I have this pain? What answer you will get? Tell me. What happened to the balloon when I was 2? How did I feel when the balloon burst when I was 2? Those are not, good questions to ask. They will not lead you anywhere. So here the chittam has to be brought under, some kind of a management. The emotions have to be managed. And Bhagavan gives 2 ways to manage the emotions. Both by the same word, Abhyasa Yoga. So the first we can take it as the practice of Ashtanga Yoga. And as a Karma Yogi, Yama and Niyama we know. Yama is discipline, Niyama is also certain different kinds of disciplines, leading a disciplined life. Then asana. The asana, it really helps. Yoga practice is the first form of self-love. And for damaged emotions, that's the main way to get a hold of the emotions. Because you see, there are so many channels inside the body that are not available for dissection. They are called nadis. Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, like that there are so many, 72,000 nadis? 72,000 nadis all over the body, these invisible meridians. The meridians that control sensation and even, so many things. But also, since the meridians are subtle, they also, they link the mind and the body, they are linked. It's not that even though in the modern age we try to separate the mind and the body, it's linked through these invisible meridians. And so the practice of yoga, Abhyasa Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, the postures, the asanas, help to activate these meridians. And so it's not just a physical benefit, it's directly a drishtaphala of an emotional benefit. You feel better about yourself. That self-hatred goes away. Just after a few weeks of practicing, you try and see. It's amazing. So what it does is that it links the alienation from the body and the mind, the alienation from the body and Bhagavan, the feeling that there is so many different conflicts and splits. There is a healing that happens. There is a coming together. That is what is the meaning of the word yoga. Yuj, to join. It's not that you're joining your head and the leg in a pretzel pose. That's not what it is. What you are joining is the basic integrity of the human being is being brought together in a very subtle way. So he says, Bhagavan says, practice the Ashtanga Yoga. And what is this Ashtanga Yoga? And what are the steps in that? We will see on Saturday afternoon, correct? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Questions? Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, the four functions. Yeah, functions of the mind. I just told you the difference, no? Did you log on late? Did you not hear the difference? You heard the difference? Yeah. Just to sum up. Yeah, just to sum up. Manaha, the indecisive faculty, that which cannot make a decision. Buddhihi, the decisive facility of the mind. Chittam, the emotive faculty. And Ahankara, the one that says all this belongs to me. Yeah. It is confusing because it's a new way of looking at it. That's all. If there is confusion, see at what level it is. Is it the manaha that is confused? Is it the buddhi? Is it the chittam? Yeah. Yeah, Rita means, when Rita and Satya are used together, one means integrity and the other is speaking of truth. Yeah. You can be a teacher, no problem. You just have to persevere and learn. Expose yourself to the proper way of learning. You can teach. What is the difference between Vishwa and Virat? Where that came from? Oh, that's just general question. Okay, yeah. Vishwa is Vishwa is the waking person. And Virat is Vishwa is the waker, individual waker. Virat is the world, the Jagat. Name of Bhagavan. With reference to the Jagat, Bhagavan is called Virat. With reference to the individual waker, Bhagavan is called Vishwa. No, Chitta and Chittam are not the same. Chittam here is the emotive faculty. Yeah, Chitta and Chittam are the same. Chit means sentience. That's different. Yeah. Chitta and Chittam are same. Any other questions? Yeah, Namaste. Om. Any questions here? Yes.
Just curious, when making the decision between manaha and buddhi,
Yeah.
once you decide, it's just making it being there.
Yeah, being there.
Completely.
Yes.
That's how you.
That's right. And then of course the Chittam will have a tantrum. You have to hug it. And if it is not getting ready to be hugged, do some yoga. That's what Bhagavan says. Yeah. How to subscribe to this newsletter? Send me your email address, arsha@verizon.net, and I will send you the copy and we'll put you on the list. Could you please define Brahman, Ishvara and Bhagavan? That's a very good question. Yeah. I will come to that. Does Abhyasa Yoga include seeing the therapist? Yes. It's also therapeutic. Yes, it is therapeutic. Yeah. Now, what is the difference between Brahma and Brahman? Brahma is the name given to Ishvara with a creative, in the form of the creator, endowed with the ability to create. That's why, to not confuse, we always say Brahmaji, so that we are not confused. Brahman is the truth of yourself, that which is defined in the Veda as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. And Bhagavan and Ishvara are synonyms, and Brahman, Bhagavan and Ishvara are synonyms. Why? Because there is no Brahman that you can find right now without immediately also being Ishvara. Correct? Yeah. Because we are living in a manifest world. Brahman is Ishvara, invested with the power of creating the universe, managing, sustaining the universe and resolving this universe. That is called Ishvara. Brahman invested with the power of all these threefold power is called Ishvara. Bhagavan, the one which has sixfold virtues, another name for Ishvara. But if you say, I want pure Brahman without having Ishvara, you cannot do that. Yeah, it's like saying, I want only the rice in the khichdi and I want to leave aside the dal. What is khichdi? Rice and dal cooked together. How are you going to separate? That's the idea. Okay? Yeah. That is a good question, because this is where people are confused. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. What is the difference between Ishvara and Parameshvara? Nothing. No difference. Just Ishvara likes to have many names. See, because we live in a manifest Jagat, we have to say that this is Brahman is in the form of Ishvara. Then I want pure Brahman, you have to wait till Laya. Laya means till everything is resolved. Then you also won't be there and the want also won't be there. So we have that problem. Yeah. Om Namah Shivaya.